today, and we're going to talk today about the new operator Brava. And is Brava good in the meta? What does it do? And should it be used more often? Like, what tier is it? Talk about it. I'll say more, but it'll kind of spoil some of it.
Brava is a natural-born leader and an expert in.
We are going to skip through to the important parts for
technology that could
our conversation.
When we start a distance, so we dig into the fantasy of anti-drone rifles.
The new gadget is going to be a drone
that can break the connection.
Connections like the Twitch drone. So think of Twitch drone when it comes to this drone. You're going to have 3 charges.
Our own version of it. Once we were happy with our version, we scaled it down the interface with inside the machine.
What you're able to do is you're able to take defender utility like cameras, Capkin traps, even other types of utilities that defenders will leave out. If you can't take it, you'll just destroy it like a Twitch drone, like a bandit shock wire. Like you'll destroy the bandit charge.
Brava's gadget is the clutch drone. It's a new observation tool that we are bringing to the attacking team. It's an observation tool that
you can take like a Rooney gate, let's say.
Also shoot. When you shoot at
Echo
a
drone
device, you can steal them from the defender team.
And here's the
Our
cool part.
Players will be able to do a
Think
lot of
would be nice.
You can steal
and
Capkins, steal the yokai drones, all of those defender gadgets that you can turn against them. So obviously there's a lot of
Echo does
possibilities.
Echo.
And sky is the limit here.
One thing I want to see here, specifically.
So obviously there's a lot of possibilities, and it's sky is the limit here.
Yeah, so you can kind of. I mean, I'm not sure if you guys saw that, but there is a slight indicator that something was hacked. It's like a hovering white on top of the trap. You can't really see it, but it flies by. But yeah, it is a slight indicator if you look at the trap. But that's going to beg the question, like, let's say you're a Capkin and you have traps all over the place. You have to make sure that your trap isn't hacked. It's just another thing that defenders will have to look out for. But why this will be good, because you can hack like Malusi's, the Banshees, you can hack the cams, Maestro cams, Echo cams, Capkin traps, you can hack a lot of things. I don't think you can hack a Frostman, obviously, but you can hack a lot of things, which is pretty great. So in my mind, instantly, I think Twitch, you know? Like, how is she different from Twitch? So she has the para, so like Capitel's gun, run the extended barrel on that. That thing is 2 tapping the body, 3 speeds. So, how is it different from Twitch? Twitch destroys gadgets. Brava will take the gadgets. So, another operator that can drone around and deal with enemy utility. So, a good pairing with Brava, in my eyes, is having Brava and Twitch. You can destroy so much utility or take it for yourself. Brava focusing more on taking the traps for yourselves, or like taking cameras on site for your team, and Twitch is trying to focus on destroying like ADSs or OMIs. And like one thing that I think would be cool is like taking an ADS or a WMI disc for your team. So let's say a smoke is throwing a smoke canister, or someone's throwing a nitro, let's say on bank, like we're gonna plant the bomb like near the dirt tunnel, and you took an enemy ADS, it actually catches their throwable. I think that is going to be incredible. It's just another thing, another layer for defenders like to have to think about, because there's so many things that defenders can leave on the ground that are just really strong.
This means that you can slip by a clutch drone and maybe steal something. Like, that's a window of opportunity for you. We have a 3-speed.
Mozzie can take this drone and steal more drones with it. He can, yes.
Here. It's mostly so you use the speed to catch up.
It basically makes it so defenders you can't just place a bunch of traps willy-nilly and expect it to work perfectly. It kind of counters the trap meta slightly in I think a decent way. But she functions very similar to Twitch in my eyes. Just saying to pair her with IQ to find the utility. I mean, that's fine and all, but, you know, Thatcher to get you through the mute jammers to help take stuff off the wall, but you can do that with Twitch. But, I mean, you do it with Brava. I mean, you do it with whatever you can in the moment. Get whatever you can off the wall.
We'll learn about Brava, and that's why it's Brava when she's droning. Well,
I mean, Solos can see you on your camera, obviously.
All of the crazy things that you can think of.
Ozzy, yeah, it's
just. Also steal the clutch drone, and then from there you can steal claymores, steal air jabs,
Ozzy.
retake some drones. There's a lot of possibility here. So it's
a slight little buff to Mozzie.
Counter synergy. Navigates on the floor. The way that we know to counter this is good old mute. You place jammers, you passively deny the entry to the and be cloaked
Now
to
I'm mute.
drones. So obviously the clutch drone will not be able to see Vigil, which means that he can jump on your drone and destroy it. I think our
That is not a counter to that drone.
experienced player
Do not
noticed that
pick
there's
Vigil to
Captain,
counter the drones.
Lucy,
Taking an enemy Banshee for yourself is pretty funny, but all right, the biggest thing for this operator, I mean, in terms of like A tier, B tier, etc., I think that Brava is more of a around the same tier as Twitch. I feel like the Para is a pretty good gun, especially with the extended barrel buff. Like it hits like a brick house, and you're gonna have smoke grenades like Twitch or claymores, like Twitch, and the Gadget works very similar to Twitch. I mean, how often are you using all your Twitch lasers while you're running around with your shock drones? Not very often. So I feel like, at least for me, in terms of like picking Brava or Twitch, I definitely lean on picking more Brava because I have more options to potentially take utility. Like, let's say I see a Captain Trap, and instead of destroying it, I just take it as Brava because you never know if it might actually get a defender, because it's just like having another Claymore for your team that they may not know about. So, and I definitely think that defenders are going to hit these devices pretty often. Taking ADSs near windows definitely is also a high key move. I don't see this Gadget being like overpowered in any capacity because I'm looking at like a Twitch drone. Like there's really only a couple things that are like really strong. Like if you can capture enemy cameras, white cams, hell, even just default cams. Getting a default cam would be pretty great. Just even at the it's like the aqua cam, like let's say like on coastline, you take the aqua cam for your team, and now that is your camera to watch for flags and everything, which is, it's not bad. It's honestly pretty strong, but and they nerfed the F2, so Twitch definitely got a little bit worse. So with Twitch getting a little bit worse and it has a DMR, I mean, Twitch getting a little bit worse. And here's Brava. I definitely feel like Brava is going to get a lot of playtime in the current meta. So, can you take ADSs out, catch smokes from smoke? Yes, I believe so. I mean, I don't see any reason why you aren't able to do that. You should be able to take smoke canisters, any type of throwable like a nitro. If you take the ADS or my disc, it should catch that utility. You get two drones. Like, think exactly like Twitch. It is exactly like Twitch. You get two drones, but these drones only have 3 charges. And I don't believe their charges come back. I believe you get 3 charges, and that's it. So the way that Twitch works is Twitch, you get 5, and they come back slowly. So like Twitch, you could potentially get a lot, but how often do you really need all 5 shots? Not very often as Twitch, but I mean, sometimes, like, let's say when you're trying to counter Goyo, let's say. This is less of a counter for Goyo because like you're hacking the device. This doesn't really counter Goyo because I don't know if you can even activate a Goyo canister with this. But Twitch can, and Twitch, at least in Pro League, has been used to counter Goyo pretty obsessively. Like, because take all that map control and then you get to the site, there's Goyo canisters everywhere. How do you deal with any of that with Brava? Can't. So Brava, I don't see being a counter to Goyo, whereas Twitch would be. So it shows 3 in the chamber, but they recharge. I mean, for what I see here, this does not look like it recharges.
Counter this is good old mute. You place jammers, navigates on the floor.
So you're saying they do recharge?
The clutch is an observation tool. It navigates on the floor. The way that we know to counter this is
if they recharge, even so, like, there's never really that many things that you need to get on a certain map. Like, I can only think of like maybe 3 things that you would ever really need to get, and that's it. That's out of a 15-minute recharges. Okay, fair enough. So yeah, okay. So apparently you get it as you start with 3 charges and it comes back. But even so, like, I don't really see your need really, like, it's like the Twitch drones. Like, I never see myself needing all of those charges. I mean, you could go around and really go capture every Capcan trap, and then you're wasting a lot of valuable time you could be using to take the entire map. So they're gonna nerf and give it limited zaps. Well, I don't think that's necessarily a massive nerf from having 3 to having a potentially infinite, because you're not going to be using it to take a bunch, like everything that the defenders have. This will be annoying when it comes to Capkin traps. I think that this is like a good change to counter people bringing more traps, like the Banshees, the Capkin traps. It'll just be nice. It kind of reinforces that the meta currently with like the run and gun, peek everything, don't bring traps, bring guns like Warden or Soulless. Bring more like on the fly utility versus just bringing utility you can leave and forget. Like imagine this lineup: like you have Frost, Capkin, Lucy, Mute, and hell, even a castle. Throw in a castle at the end. There's just so much utility to have to deal with as attackers. It's kind of daunting. But with this new op, at least it will counter it somewhat and makes the defenders not feel as safe and potentially might score your kill. So.
And they repick into Disoberator. When you notice that
I don't think that she is going to be banned. This does not seem like a ban to me. I personally wouldn't ban Brava because I feel like operators like Dokkaebi is still stronger. Dokkaebi and Nock to me are still stronger than Brava. Brava to me on a scale of S tier, A tier, all that fun shit. Brava to me is a solid A tier. She's not super high in A tier. She's like in the middle of the pack A tier. Like the drones are nice and all, but it does have limited uses most of the time. Like you can't use it like, let's say, a grenade. Having a frag grenade is better utility than having these drones. Yes or no? Just having a frag grenade in your hand. Better utility, frag grenade, obviously, than this drone. But it is still good utility. It's still good utility. I'll let you reverse hack Legion traps. Yes, but like you guys are thinking like you're gonna have enough time to run around the entire map to find all these things. You're not spending time actually taking the map. So it is a balance of time. Like when I'm using a drone, I'm doing something. Like I'm going here to clear this, and then you know whatever. I'm gonna spend it like drive my drone into sight, like my Bravo drone. I'm gonna take a couple things, then hide it in a corner if I can, and if I can come back to it, I might be able to take more if it recharges in time. But I'm not going to like run around and try to find every little piece of defender utility. I just want to find the utility that actually matters. So in terms of the current meta, I definitely see Brava being played because currently Twitch is played to counter like the Goyo and everything, but I can see Brava being played. But to counter Goyo, no. But to counter other utilities, like let's say there's a smoke shield on elbow, or there's a smoke shield and there's ADSs and Midas, being able to drive your little drone in there and just taking the ADSs, I mean, definitely not bad. And having more drones, more intel is never a bad thing, because a lot of times people aren't droning, people aren't falling out. So this is kind of forcing that maybe we need to drone a little bit more. All right, guys, let me know down in the comments down below. Do you think Brava's going to change the meta, or is this just another mid-op like Grim and Sens? Let me know down below, and make sure to subscribe, drop a comment, like down below for more. Till next time.